Ms. Sigels Nube, Mr. Mkize, has agreement been reached on what's going to happen?
Yes, Chair. We are going to play the recording of the call that Witness A says is a call between himself and General Shibiri on the 16th of December 2024. But before we do that, Chair, it's just to give context to why the call is being played, the recording is being played, and then also to place a supplementary statement by Witness A on record, because of course he's the one that provided us with the statement. If I can ask the commissioners to go to file 4, and it is CJC 101, page 93. General, if you could also go there and just switch on your microphones, please. It's file 4, CJC 101, page 93. Do you have it, General?
Yes.
Chair, if I could just read it in, but before I read it into the record, is just to say that Witness A had contacted us after he heard the evidence of General Shibiri denying the conversation, or Witness A's version of the conversation that took place on the 16th of December 2024. And he requested that he submit a supplementary statement, and also that he would want to provide the recording of the call. And he has given in the statement an explanation for why he wants to do that and why now, if I could read that into the record. It says, I am a warrant officer currently serving in the South African Police Services and attached to the Gauteng Provincial Organized Crime Unit. On 19 October 2025, I submitted a witness statement to the Commission wherein I am identified as Witness A, and on 20 and 21 October 2025, I gave evidence before the Commission regarding my involvement in the SWAT murder and events that transpired during 2024 and 2025. One of the events that I dealt with was a telephone call that I had with Major General Richard Shibiri on 16 December 2024, as set out in paragraphs 93 to 97 of my first witness statement. As stated in my statement, when I received the call from General Shibiri, I was with Witness B and she overheard the conversation. What I did not mention in my statement or during my testimony before the Commission in October 2025 was that at some point during the telephone conversation with General Shibiri, Witness B recorded the conversation using her cell phone. I had no intention of disclosing this recording publicly. Next heading, the recording. At the time of the call with General Shibiri, Witness B and I were already in the safe house. We did not know who we could trust, and at this stage I was already unsure of General Shibiri's motives. The Commission will recall that I testified that I was still willing to give General Shibiri the benefit of the doubt. However, the arrest of Mr. Katiso Molefe on 6 December 2024 made us more suspicious of those who would inquire about the SWAT murder case, and in particular Mr. Molefe's arrest. When General Shibiri called, Witness B and I had no intention of recording the call. The call started out casually, but at some point General Shibiri mentioned that he had been invited to General Sibiya's plot for a birthday celebration. At that moment, we decided to record the call. Witness B recorded the call on her cell phone. When the call with General Shibiri started, the phone was not on speaker. I had tried to increase the volume when Witness B started recording, not realizing that the phone is not on speaker. Therefore, at the beginning of the recording, General Shibiri's voice is not as clear because the call is not on speaker. However, during the call, I realized that the phone was not on speaker and immediately put it on speaker, hence the difference in the audio. Disclosure of the recording. As stated earlier, I had no intention of making the recording public. When I consulted with the Commission's evidence leaders in September and October 2025, I informed them of the recording but made it very clear that I did not want to disclose the recording in public, but that if it had to be brought to the attention of the Commissioners, it would have to be done in camera. My reluctance had nothing to do with disclosing the contents of the recording. This is evident from my first statement, where I deal with the contents of the call in some detail. It was more so my reluctance to disclose that we had recorded the call, but that the Commission must understand the situation that we found ourselves in, especially so soon after Mr. Molefe's arrest. Be that as it may, I did not think that General Shibiri would deny the contents of the call. I listened to General Shibiri's evidence on the 4th of March 2026, when he admitted that the call took place but denied my version of the call. Now that he has denied my version and effectively placed my credibility in doubt and that of witness B, I have no option but to disclose the recording publicly. I do so reluctantly, but I understand that it is important for the Commission's work. It is also important for my credibility and the evidence that I have already given to the Commission. It is for this reason that yesterday, 4 March 2026, after listening to General Shibiri's evidence, that I gave the Commission's evidence leaders permission to disclose the recording to General Shibiri and the Commissioners and to play it during the public hearing. I understand that the recording had previously been transcribed in Zulu and translated and transcribed in English at the instance of the Commission's evidence leaders in the event that I had to give evidence regarding the call. However, as indicated, my intention was always that it would be in camera, if at all. Conclusion. It is unfortunate that it has come to this point. My reluctance to disclose the recording publicly must not be seen as me being forced to disclose the recording. I do so willingly, although I would have preferred for General Shibiri not to dispute the contents of the call and avoid the need for disclosure. I trust that the contents of the supplementary witness statement and the recording of the call will be of assistance to the Commission. Signed on this, the 5th day of March 2026. Thank you, Chair. With that being said, Chair, we will now play the recording, and if I could just advise Chair as well that we have provided the transcription, but we can deal with that once we've heard the recording.
Thank you, Ms. Sigels-Ncube. Mr. Mkhize.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. Now I confirm the agreement that the audio can be played. Of course, there is only one name that will be redacted from it. Other than that, everything can be played.
Only one name will not be
only
mentioned.
One name, Commissioner. Maybe just to put it in context, obviously my learned colleague will conduct.
Please pull the mic a bit closer.
Commissioner, I'm saying maybe, obviously, my learned colleague will conduct this part of the proceedings in whatever manner she needs. But maybe if she could just remind everyone, including the witnesses, to what it is that was allegedly disputed, so that we can contextualize everything and everyone understands exactly where we are. Because we take a somewhat different view about the impact and the contents of this particular statement. Thank you.
Perhaps I think that's best left for after the clip has been played. I think, yeah. Indeed. Yes. But I just want to make this observation, though. I know the general is human like all of us, and as such, he should be concerned with his personal safety. But this is the second general who is scared to mention the name or names of certain people. I find this, and I'm sure my co-commissioners share this, I find this quite concerning. The general is the head of organized crime in the country, and the other general is the head of IPID. I'm sorry, the DPCI, the Hawks. That's actually what I have in my head of KZN, and the Hawks or the DPCI exist also to fight organized crime. So it's quite concerning that people who head organized crime should be so fearful of people who are alleged to be or are said to be within the organized crime. It's quite concerning. So who will freely fight organized crime if people at that level are so fearful just to mention the names of people who are alleged to be players in that environment? It's quite concerning. But I do say what I said, or what I prefaced my concern with, which is, yes, the general is only human, and yes, the general should be fearful for his own safety, I would imagine. But that does not detract from the concern that I have. Who then is going to fight organized crime, and how? Perhaps I hope we will find a way of dealing with this subject as part of the investigation that we are dealing with.
That's the problem.
Or engaged in. And I see the general is smiling. I do not know whether that's because he wishes to say something, but I have expressed my concerns. And general, I mean it when I say perhaps, because it appears that you are indeed fearful. And the other general was also quite fearful, we could tell. I repeat that perhaps it's a subject that needs to be looked into, that needs to be seriously investigated. Ms. Sigals-Ncube?
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, plus we will recover fully. Yes. Kama general usebenza amadasa ngisakhumbula kahle.
Ngimasebenzisa manje ngeke ngisawasebenzisa, but manje is back to square one. Angithi manje bengibona eduza ngingaboni kude.
Yes.
Ngane Madlas, but ukubona ngifaka amadlas manje isibhayisa veza ngizobona ngidrive ngingafaka amadlas, but kufanele ngifake ama-registers. Hayi indaba, but at least last thing bengiye eMpumalanga ngine-meeting, I was totally not okay because ngingaboni udark and ngihamba lapha ku-Superman's Drift lapha ngingaboni i-white lake ngithi hayi
and akumele usidrivele ngaleso sikhathi.
Yeah, yiyo lento iyenza ukuthi manje because ngo-September bangitshela ukuthi I must do this thing.
Yes.
But I was reluctant. And ngisaba. Then mawangitshela futhi bengaya kumunye professor bathi uProfessor Mayet lapha eGarden City.
Yes.
Uyaphethe nalezi St. John's yesebhara la.
Yeah, ngiyayibona.
Yeah, and uyaphethe ophthalmology yesivet. So ngaya kuye angiyenza, but for now it's just smaller things laphana nalaphana kunephuma i-TS and then but
Chair, I've just paused it so that we can maybe try and follow on the transcript as well. You would have heard what witness A says, that the sound is not so great at the beginning of the audio. So that is CJC 98, Chair, and that is
page 76.
Page 76, and the English is the one just before that, CJC 97.
Page 76. Thank you, Mr. Gilson.
Okay. I jumped.
Chair, maybe we can just find your place before we start it. I think it is just at the point where the general is speaking about the sunglasses. So that would be on 78. Sorry, General, if you could also just switch off your microphones, I believe it also has an impact.
Ubona manje ngikhiphile inye the last one i-patch faka ama-sunglass manje but ngiyasaba ukuphumela ngaphandle ngoba the sun is very scarce.
Yeah, no, but kune hope ngoba ubona ama-specialist angazi uma ngabe ngizokhuluma ngathi ama-specialist ashapho. Yeah, no, General, but umfonele uKennel officing late that week. Yeah, but ngamtshela ukuthi no, ifamily yatshelwa ukuthi ususpect wethu kuphi. Plus ama lawyer futhi nawo sakhona ukwatshela the same night.
Yeah, no, awona labantu bayithanda idrama. Angithi this guy kube kwi-group e-1 nokumswasi.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I'm sure there were five. They were five. They are having other companies together also, or mining rights together.
Oh yes. Yeah, because ngimwasho ukuthi une interest kwi mining.
Yeah, somewhere Rustenburg naseBreds.
Yeah. Why mention a lot of line?
Yeah, there is this other guy. He's also staying in Sandton. He's a Zulu guy, or the tall one.
Yes.
And then he's close to Malema. So Malema is close to Usbi. So that is how this thing goes, to say whatsoever. What. So, ngiyazi noma athi ngize lapho ufuna ukungibuza ukuthi ngithumile manje kwenzakalani whatsoever, so that naye and ngiyazi ukuthi akayifuneli ukuthi ayise lapha ku-NASCOM.
Yes.
On this other side. So sizothini is how we live, but as long as we are safe.
Yes.
So mina bengicabanga ukuthi maybe it's links to ama-taxi, but ngathi abantu kuma-taxi baphuma umuntu asele ayilaphana ayenza i-problem uJoe plus nalapho ma-extortions is there, these boys bakhe ubafanas and what. But ngizibuza to okay, so ngithi hayi General nginikeza isikhathi, I will give you feedback later, or else if you are in a hurry you can phone uKhumalo ukusendele report mina.
Yes.
But ngathi ngabona ukuthi ngathi ngimphendule kabi ngathi or nami ngilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe, so ngibuyise ngibuye kancane ngoba izinye izinto zisuka nami zingicasuzo.
Yes.
That is why even the last thing angibiza ngathi crime intelligence ayenze whatever, because we cannot let this thing get to us in a manner which the people who are doing the work, they become vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah, so always nathi sibuya lapha nami bengishosholoza ngigijimiswa lapha ngihamba ngema-TRP nema-WhatsApp.
Yeah, ngiyazikhumbula le story awusitshela sona silapha eofisini lakho.
Yeah, wabona umutise basaphela. So it's not nice. I was in Qede about from 2013 to 2016 ngane life.
Yes.
Yeah, but then that time abantwana bami they were young. At least manje bakhulile, abanye bahlala lapho bahlala khona wabona.
Yeah, sebe independent.
Yeah, manje babangakakhuli and then basahamba school awukho free now.
Yes.
And then nabo babuza ukuthi kwenzakalani, and then but yeah, but nithi uNkulunkulu what but nene. So some of the things doesn't make sense, and you don't even know how to explain to small ones.
Yeah, bona mabese bancane ngeke bakhona ukuzi understand because bona bazi ukuthi ubaba must be around all the time.
All the time. And again, you see now, mawuphuma uya ngapha ufanele uhambe unebantu, mawuphuma uya ngapha ufanele uhambe unebantu, and mawaza lapha phethe phambi manje it becomes infringe ne freedom yabo ne whatever, but it is necessary. It's necessary. So akufanelanga niphele umoya niyeke. I think now you are no longer far from now with near trial and whatever. But even after that, you don't relax because these guys, abanye abantu they are so actually abanenkulunkulu.
Yes.
No, actually they still want revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why what umuntu ngeke umconfirm.
Yeah, you don't relax. You don't relax because last time, it's just that I'm turned easy to. So and I don't follow up with it. They are not even working at province or whatsoever. Then it's indicating no. Yimi ngivimba amabhayili ngenzani umsebenzi wami ukuphosebhayili, but mina I don't carry docket, so I don't know what the abantu benjela ukuthi whatsoever. Those people, they are not even working at the province. The matter is just at the province. They are working at the district. What is happening? I want bataille. Amuntu umthembile uthi now this one is we're sonke ekhaya, then uzokujikela for a small thing, so but others is just of fear, or because of fear, then goes out here.
Yes.
As far as abanye bamagwala, abanye basitronga, so
yeah. No, I guess general, but I think uKenel Mkwena through Brigadier up until General Kumalo, they'll be able to back on we English because Bana Lolo has looked at what's going on.
okay.
Yes, Duna.
No. I've no king.
Yes, but other than that, no, she good Chinana team, she's sufficient.
Okay.
Yes,
no.
no.
It's fine. Money right is fine, but further information is I told you Kuhopan is fine.
Yes. No, I'm not going to recover sharp.
I'm the grand, it's just that no man have namanje. Drops.
Yes.
But the one which is done last week is more comfortable than the other one which I've done before, because sometimes feel like something.
Yeah.
So
Chair, we've just stopped it there because then the General just speaks about his eye condition. We thought that's not relevant, but we will go then towards the end when the call comes to an end.
Yes.
And that trust. And
where are we now? Where are we now?
Chair, we're on page, are you looking at
Transcript.
the English or?
No,
okay.
no.
It would be the last page on either one, Chair.
Oh. 86, thank you.
Yes. It's actually page 85 of the Zulu one.
Thank you.
Just go a bit. Just, yeah.
That trust, because even if you are saying you want to vet people, it will take time to vet everybody.
Yeah. Kuba i-process endenyana.
The only thing which is okay is when the people, they know each other, they understand each other, they trust each other, they can work together.
Yeah, it's easy for them to join.
Yeah, they're able to protect each other, because now it's not an easy thing. These people, they know they will be arrested, but they don't want to be arrested.
Yes. No, kunjalo Nduna.
No, kulungile ne.
No, siyabonga man uphona.
Hayi, ngizoba right.
All right.
Sure, keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, Tinoa. Sure.
Thank you, Chair. General, so now that we've heard the recording, and I think you do have the transcriptions, correct? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. I want to invite you, if you want to deal with the recording, or whether you want me to go to the denials from the time when I had put the call to you. How do you want to deal with it? I think it's up to you how best you want to deal with it.
I'm not sure. Maybe you can lead.
Okay.
And then I will respond.
Okay, can we then, I indicated to you, of course, that what witness A says is that the recording starts when the conversation had already started, so it starts a bit late. I had asked you whether you denied that witness A said you told him you had been invited to the farm for General Sibiya's birthday celebration, and you said yes, you deny that. Do you recall that? I've got the transcription, if you want me to refer you to the...
I thought you were referring...
General, were you, or rather, did you read the transcript before the hearing?
Before?
The hearing.
The hearing.
Oh, by the way, it was given now.
No,
it was given
Did you read this transcript? Did you read this transcript before the hearing, or before this week?
Yeah, I read the transcript. I think a day before. But
yes.
It was all about the questions which were asked, which were responding to here. Based on them, where there was some disagreement.
No, just the transcript starting from page 76, the one mainly in isiZulu with bits of English.
I read both.
You read both?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you accept the correctness of the transcript?
Yeah, after listening, because without listening, then it will be something else.
Yes. Now that you've listened and at the same time you are looking at it, do you accept its correctness?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Mr.
Thank you, Chief. So, General, if you go to page 64 of that bundle, which is the English transcription.
860. Yes, I'm there.
You will recall that during your evidence in chief, I had asked you whether you denied that you had told witness A that you were invited to the farm to General Sibiya's birthday celebration for General Sibiya, and you said you deny it. Do you recall that?
Yes, I recall. I denied that I'm not going there because of certain things. But you see here, it indicates what I said. I couldn't go because of what. So I denied what you said that day.
Okay. I'm going to then refer you to the transcript of the proceedings when you gave your evidence in chief.
Okay.
So that I can just read out to you what was said. And I don't know should I send it to you? The transcript. So on page, just for the record, 199 of the transcript of day 71, You'll just bear with us if you want to see it, General.
I assume it will be shown on screen.
So, General, let me just read it for you, but it will be flighted soon. So, I had asked you, we were dealing with the call, and I said, okay, so you deny that you had been invited to General, that you told him that you had been invited to General Sibiya's birthday celebration. You say, yes, I deny. And I say, all of that you deny? And you said, yeah. And then I said, during the call, General Shibiri told me, and then we dealt with what was said during the call. My first question to you was the issue about going to General Sibiya's birthday celebration. You say you deny that. Do you still deny that is what you told witness A?
Yes, I told him that I'm invited to be at the farm. It was not a birthday celebration. It was Thanksgiving.
Okay, it's really irrelevant, but is the point not that General Sibiya's birthday is on the 16th of December, correct?
I don't know.
You want me to show you that it is on the 16th of December?
No, I don't know.
Okay, it is on the 16th of December.
Okay.
And this call was on the 16th of December, and at page 64 of the transcript, the first line, you say, investigating officer O, and then you say, yes, they said at 6 I must come to him in the farm. No, but myself, let me sit down and nurse myself and stop going around. So you were supposed to be, that's what he said. You told him you were going to a birthday celebration for General Sibiya at the farm, and you had to be there at 6. Do you see that? It's just that the call starts later.
I was supposed to go there, but I didn't go because of ill health.
Yes, that's what you said initially, and then he said, but then he also said that if he goes there, you're going to be asked about Molefe.
Yeah, I was going to be asked about the feedback. Remember, I even indicated the call. It was about follow-up on the feedback because the day I phoned on the 7th, I forgot to ask for what was he arrested.
Okay, so you now admit that one of the reasons, although the primary reason was your health, one of the reasons that you had told witness A you didn't want to go there was because General Sibiya was going to ask you for feedback about the Molefe case.
No, it wasn't the reason. The reason was my ill health. Hence I phoned him to get more information. Because I knew on the 18th I was going back to work. Even though I'm not going, I was still going to be expected to give feedback one way or the other.
Okay, so that had nothing to do with it that you were going to go.
No.
And then, General, I also asked you, just before we get there, I just want to see if the transcript can play. So, General, if I understand what you're saying is that there was no reluctance. You didn't say to him that you were reluctant to go there because of having to report back.
No, I wanted the report back from him. I didn't go there because of ill health, because I didn't want dust to get into my eyes. It was still fresh from the operation.
Okay. Now, can we then deal with the next issue, which was what you had told him about Molefe, about Mr. Katiso Molefe?
Yeah, I indicated that on the 7th, I received a call to indicate that the family of Molefe is complaining about not knowing where was he detained. And I phoned around in Gauteng, started with Brigadier Nam and then Colonel Mukwena, and then Colonel Mukwena referred me to witness A. phoned witness A. Witness A indicated to me they were with an attorney, just separated ways, and mentioned the name of attorney to be Tammy. And I ended it there and sent the feedback. But now, because I was, after I got a call for the invitation and I remembered that I'm going back to work, I said, okay, that feedback, that task I was tasked. I forgot one thing. I didn't ask what was this person arrested for. I wanted full information so that I give a full report. So that is what I indicated that day.
Okay, if you go to page 67 of that transcript, and I'm looking at from line 10, so 2 lines down from line 10.
Yes.
There you say, and then he is close to Malema, so Malema is close to Sabia, you see. So that is how this thing goes to say whatsoever, what. So I know even when he says I must come there, he wants to ask me, yes, I have sent you. So now what is happening whatsoever? So that himself, and I know that he is not looking for it to take to NASCOM. What were you referring to there?
Yeah, I was indicating that even though I was not going, but I know when I went there, the same feedback will be needed, will be asked.
Yes, and so it, according to witness A, that is how we understood it, that you didn't want to, one of the reasons you didn't want to go is because you were going to have to give feedback, and you didn't want to give the feedback, and you were saying that General Sabia is not looking for feedback for the NASCOM, for the National Commissioner. And then in the next line, you say he is looking for it for this other side. Who is the other side?
Yeah, we indicated there is grouping
Yes.
in the police. So there is groupings, as we indicated at the beginning. Other group is him, other group is the others.
Right. So the other side is a grouping within the police force. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes.
You meant. You didn't mean that the other side is Mr. Molefe.
No.
So who in the police force would be the other side? Because we know there's the National Commissioner. So General Sabia can't be referring to the other side as himself. So which other side?
The other side is the police who are with him on the other side doing and his own grouping.
Who are you referring to, General? I don't know because you say the other side. The way witness A understood what you were saying is that you don't want this information for the National Commissioner, i.e. the police. You want it for the other side, being for Katiso Molefe. That's how he understood it. And I think that is how I understand it as well. You say you meant something else. So the other side cannot be General Sabia. You can't be referring to, General Sabia would want it for General Sabia's side. Who is the other side?
I prefer not to mention them.
No, General, you see, there's something is being suggested. The witness believes that the other side is the Katiso Molefe people. That's what's being put to you. And if you say, I prefer not to answer, then that statement where the witness says, the other witness said, you were referring to the Molefe side, that becomes the last word on the topic. The whole point of this engagement with you is to give you the chance to explain yourself. You are the one that speaks of another side. And where someone else has said the other side is I think you said group of 5, where witness says it is the Molefe side. You are the one that said that. That's what the transcript is. You're the one that said the other side.
Yeah.
And you can't get away with saying, I prefer not to answer. And if you say you prefer not to answer as a witness of the commission in terms of the proclamation, you do, and the act, you do have an obligation to give an explanation. Why not?
Okay. As I indicated, as I was discussing informally with a colleague and further gave information relating after the arrest to say that is why they are behaving like this. Further, I discovered that he was he was business partners with Rumswazi and the other 5 people. And that is what I was sharing with him, because I was knowing he's at the safe house, and now they have now consolidated. They can be able to follow whatever of the information. Yes, that one I indicated. That is why even when I was responding to the issue that I said General Sevilla is related or not related as such. I can't remember the question here. Is
close.
Have ties with Katiso Mulefe. I indicated I don't know of that. What I know is he gave me tasks to say I must follow up to find out the detention status of Mr. Mulefe, because the family doesn't know. So all of this information I needed, it was to report back to say, yes, he was detained somewhere where, and then the family found him, the attorneys went there, and everything is fine, and he was arrested for discharge. So hence I phoned that day. So the other side, it might be I was saying I don't believe it was the NASCOM who phoned to find out, or the complaint came to him. It might be coming from the family or other colleagues of his asking that. So I can't know who.
General, you say in this transcript, you don't say I believe, you say ngiyazi ukuthi akayifuneli ukuthi ayise lapha kuNASCOM. So you say I know he doesn't want this information. Firstly, in fact, I think let me read the beginning of that sentence, because I think it has a meaning other than what you are giving it, the first part of it. You say, so ngiyazi noma athi ngize lapho ufuna ukungibuza. So he's inviting me so that ufuna ukungibuza ukuthi ya ngikuthumile manje kwenzakalani whatsoever, so that naye and ngiyazi ukuthi akayifuneli ukuthi ayise lapha kuNASCOM. So there are 2 things in this sentence. The one is, you say you know that he's inviting you so that he can ask you about what he sent you to go do. And then you say, but I know that he doesn't want this information for the National Commissioner. You know. And then the investigating officer says yes. You say family, you say Uifunela, this other side. Now it can't be the family, because the investigating officer has already said, the family has been told, the lawyer rather has been told. That's part of your earlier conversation. So you're not talking about the family when you say the other side. And if you want to say it is the police, you have to say who in the police. And unnecessary as it may appear, I think you should be reminded that we are required to investigate infiltration of law enforcement by criminal syndicates. You have, this whole discussion mentions Mswazi, Katiso Mulefe and others. So I don't think it's good enough, or it's going to be good enough for you to say, well, I don't know who's the other side. You're the one that speaks of the other side. You have to mention them. And if the commission has to go and interview them to find out what is their involvement, with what you're discussing, then the commission has to do that.
Yeah. Commissioners, I was phoned by the general to say he received a complaint that the family doesn't know where the suspect is being detained. And I must establish the detention status. So that is what led me to phoning. So, yeah, the other side, it might be the family of the arrested person. Because the information I got from him, he indicated that the family doesn't know where he is. I hear that the response from the investigator was that the lawyer was there, and even that day I indicated it is funny that they don't know where else the lawyer is supposed to be briefed by them to go and look for the client, unless otherwise other people send him. So I will think the other side is the family.
General, sorry, let me give Commissioner Baloy the opportunity to finish her question. I'll come back.
Yeah, let me just complete this. General, you had already told him, reported to General Sibia, according to your evidence in chief. You first reported to General Sibia on the 7th of December, where you told him that the lawyers have been told. You gave him that report. In your evidence in chief, you said you made a subsequent inquiry because you were going back to work and you wanted more information about this because you expected that when you go back to work on the 17th, General Sibia will require a further report. So here you now know that the lawyer knows about this, where this person is. It cannot be that your other side, it is the family. I think let's discount that. It's not the family. In fact, you have already said the family or the police. As you sit there, you've said two different things. So let's not hang your head on the family. You've already said the family or the police. And I've said to you, no. And you say, I can't tell you who in the police. I don't want to disclose who in the police. So we are past the family. We are now where you say the police. And if that is your answer, you have to say who in the police. And if you stick with your response that I don't want to say it, you have to explain why not. You can't get away with, it can't be the end of the matter. You saying it's the police. Firstly, there's a dispute that it is the police. I also, in my reading of this, I don't accept that it is the police, the other side. But you insist it is the police. Let's go with your insistence. You insist. You say, I will not mention them. Maybe you do have a valid reason not to mention them. Maybe you do have a good reason why you are not mentioning them. But if you don't mention them, you have to give the reason.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we are going to conclude that you are not open and frank with us and you're not telling the truth because you don't give us an explanation why you won't disclose.
Yeah, I indicated the police because there is this thing that there is division, but I don't want to just mention a person because I think and I don't have reasons to believe that they have got interest in that or whatever. Hence I'm saying what I know for a fact is the family had interest. But yes, I know he's got police who are close to him, including myself. I'm quoted to be one who's close to him, but it was me who was supposed to report. So I said maybe the other side might be the police or the family. But for the police to say I can mention this, I will mention people who are working close with him, unnecessarily so mentioning them wrongfully for not this involvement or whatsoever.
Afternoon, General.
Afternoon, Commission.
Remember when you started testifying last week, Thursday, you took an oath. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you said you will testify truthfully.
Yes.
Yes. What frustrates me is that many times we've had witnesses taking oath before us, and then when it is their turn to give evidence, they play games with the Commission. If there are safety issues, there are safety issues. We appreciate that. But you can't have a situation where 2 minutes earlier you say the other side is one faction of the police. And then when the same question is repeated, you say, oh, the other side is now the family. It means you are lying, because you can't have two different answers for the same question. It's either it's the police or it's the family. But that answer cannot change every minute or so. So I'm going to try this with you on the assumption that you have safety concerns and you don't want to mention people's names. Please go to page 66, the previous page from where we were. Are you there?
Yes.
Now, I want to take you back to the 16th of December 2024, because this reflects your state of mind and understanding of the facts on the date when the call was made. Do you see that from line 20?
Yes.
On page 4 of 12, it is page 66 of the bundle. You mention a group of people there.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, without mentioning their names, on page 67, when you said to witness A that you know that General Sibia is looking for this information for the other side, did you mean the people who are identified on page 66 from line 20? Is that the people you meant without mentioning their names? Yes or no?
I meant the family.
You meant the family?
Yes.
So you are sticking with the family?
Yes.
It is no longer his side of the subfaction?
No.
So when you said it was his side of the subfaction, you were lying to the Commission?
I will take that.
No, I'm asking you, don't take anything. Were you lying to the Commission when you said it is the one faction within SEPS? Were you lying to this Commission?
No, I was thinking also about the faction, but I don't have facts to support that.
No. You said you read this transcript. Chair asked you, did you read the transcript? You said both the Zulu and the English version.
Yes.
And you knew
Yes.
And you knew you were going to be asked about this. So you came here prepared. When you were asked the question, who is the other side that is mentioned on page 67? When Advocate Ngube asked the question, you said it's the other faction within SEPS. 2 minutes later, Commissioner Baloyi asks you the same question, you say it's the family. That can only mean your first answer was not truthful. Was it not truthful?
When I said the faction?
Yes.
Yes.
So I must take it that you have lied to this Commission and consequences should flow from that.
Yeah, let me concede like that.
Thank you.
So when you said that you wouldn't mention the people on this other side, did you mean it was the family you would not mention?
No, I was meaning on the side of the police.
Now, all of this, remember, was in the context of who this other side is. And you now say quite firmly that this other side is the family. So you can't talk about the police then. So my question is, when you said you wouldn't mention the people on this other side, did you mean it was the family that you wouldn't mention?
No, I meant the police.
What about the police? Because you've just categorically said now that this other side refers to the family. So the police have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that is what I've just considered the commissioner to say. I don't have facts to say the police might have interest except the general. So if I mention the people who are linked to him, I'll be just painting them for no apparent reason because I don't have facts. Hence I turn back to say the people who complained actually was the family. So the other side is supposed to be the family.
No, General. It's one thing to say what I meant by this other side are the police, but the problem is I am not in a position to list them. It's one thing to say that, but it's quite another to say what I meant was the police, but I'm now changing because I am not in a position to list the police. Those are two different things.
Yeah, I tried to indicate like that. And yes, I have to concede because it was not taken that I lied, and then I must face the consequences. So I chose that.
Just to make sure I understand you. So when you said this, what you meant was the other faction of the police, not the family. Your difficulty now is just that you cannot list the police who are on this other side. But you meant the police.
Commissioner, that is what I meant earlier on. But when
when you said it, you meant
yeah, I meant
the other faction of the police.
But
not the family.
When I could,
sorry, General, not the family.
Yes. When I couldn't substantiate that, and I was going to.
And you are referring to today. When you can't substantiate it today,
and
you suddenly refer to the family.
I referred back because I was going to be held that I'm not wanting to answer correctly to the commission. So either that it was found that I lied, I accepted.
Ms. Sigels, I'm left totally confused. Please continue.
Yes, Chair.
Can I just ask, General, if in this conversation, when you say Ufunela this other side, if it is the family, why do you call them the other side? Why don't you just say the family? Because in fact, there would be nothing wrong if General Sibia was asking for the family to get this information. Why do you call them the other side, and why do you consider it an issue to a point where you mention to the investigating officer that I know when I go there, he's inviting me so he can ask me this? Why did you consider it a problem?
No, inviting, he used to invite, but the other side, as we were talking casually, and as I've just said to the commissioner, I was referring to his grouping. But now my difficulty is to indicate who at his grouping, and then I revert to say is the family, because the initial question instruction was the family doesn't know where is the suspect, and I wanted more information to add to that, to say he was arrested for this and that, because I forgot to ask that day.
Well, my question to you is, why do you refer to the family as the other side? The other side vis-a-vis who? When you say the other side, there are two sides to this. When you say the other side, so maybe let me reframe the question. Who is on the one side?
The police.
Okay. And who's on the other side?
It's the perpetrator's family and friends.
So where you say the other side, you mean perpetrator's family and friends? When you say he wants this for the other side, you mean that group? So you've identified the one side as the police, the second side you say perpetrators, family and friends. I accept if you say that is the other side, and maybe I don't have any further questions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. General, we're only on the first aspect of the call, so I want to also ask you about, while we're on that, you will recall that I had asked you, I had put it to you that, I had put it to you that according to witness A, you had said that you were concerned about about refusing General Sabia's request, and that you were worried about the response that you had given General Sabia in respect of a response. Do you recall that? If you go to page 68 of the transcript, and if we can just start from the third line, but I asked myself that, okay, so I said, no, General, give me time. I will give feedback later, or else if you are in a hurry, you can phone Kumalo to send you the report. Myself, no. And then he says, investigating officer says yes. Then you say, so, but now I saw that I responded to him in a bad way, you see. I said, Aish, yes, I am also here because of his issue. So let me come back a little bit because some things also make me angry, you see. And I had put it to you that according to witness A, he understood you to mean here that your response to General Sabia initially, that if he wants feedback in a hurry, he must call Kumalo, and I'm assuming that is Mbuso Kumalo, General Mbuso Kumalo, is that correct?
Yeah.
And for a report, because you weren't going to give a hurried report, and that you then said you were worried about the fact that you had given that response to General Sabia because he is the one that is responsible for your promotion. Do you recall that I had said that's what witness A had said?
Yes.
And you denied that?
Yes.
Now, can I ask you, what is it that what you meant here on page 68 when you say so, but now I saw that I responded to him in a bad way, you see. I said, Aish, yes, I am also here because of his issue. What were you referring to there?
The issue of investigation, the issue of organized crime, the issue that I will be phoned any given time, I will have to respond to him. So I'm reporting to him and the DIFCOM. So anytime when they phone you, you need to be, even though I was not feeling well, that is the reason why I said he must, if he's in a hurry, because now I'm struggling, he can phone General Kumalo as the head in Gauteng, will be able to give prompt response. But I felt bad that I didn't respond quietly in respectful way to my senior.
Okay, but then what does it mean when you say that I am also here because of his issue? I don't know if the English translation is a bad translation of the vernacular, or but what does that mean?
I just explained, I'm there.
What issue? What's the issue?
The issue is about investigation, that if I'm needed, I'm running component. And when the DIFCOM or the DNC phones me, I need to promptly respond. Not only if we are used to be phoned like that.
Okay, because the vernacular translation is on page 80. Yes, go ahead.
I'm going to do that.
You can do it.
I suspect I'm better than you.
Far better.
Yes, General, at page 80, where in the Zulu transcript.
Page
80.
80.
This is the Zulu transcript. Oh, there is a Zulu transcript. So, you say at line 7, This is you speaking. You say, so manje ngoba ngabona ukuthi ungathi ngimuphendule kabi uyabona, full stop. Ngithi ya uyabona nami ngilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe, full stop. So ithi ngibuyise, ngibuye kancane ngoba ezinye izinto zisuka nami zingikasule uyabona. So in the Zulu version, you say after you told him that he should give you time, or if he's in a hurry, he should call Khumalo to get a report. You then had a rethink. You thought, you say, so manje ngabona ukuthi ungathi ngimphendule kabi. You thought, I've answered him badly, or inappropriately. Ngathi uyabona nami ngilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe, so ithi ngibuyise. This is you saying, let me speak differently, let me deal with it differently because I think I answered him badly. Ngibuye kancane, that's what it means. Ngibuyise ngibuye kancane ngoba izinye izinto zisuke nami zingikasule uyabona. So in this version, in the Zulu version, you express regret in how you responded to him. You spoke badly, and then you thought, let me pull myself back, let me speak differently, or let me deal with it differently. Now that sentence where you say, because nami ngilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe, what it reads like in context, it reads like, I am in the position that I hold now of head of crime, of head of organized crime. I'm in this position because of him. And there I am, I spoke badly to him, or I spoke disrespectfully to him. Let me pull back and speak and deal with it differently. That's what in context that line appears to be.
Yeah, as I indicated, I serve on his and the DIFCOM's behest.
Do what?
I serve as a component head on the behest of them, under the two. So I explained, for you to be promoted, there is a short listing of a post which is available. And then there is candidates. And in those candidates, they go for test and go for verbal interview. And I indicated here that, yes, he was the chairperson. And with him, there was the divisional commissioner, crime detection. And there was the provincial commissioner of Western Cape, General Patekile. There was the...
You please, General, don't give us the entire process.
There was also delegation from NPA.
Just a minute, General.
Yeah.
Please answer the question directly. When you say that Nilapa ngoba ngendaba yakhe, I'm here because of him, the question by Commissioner Baloyi is, by that, do you mean you are now holding the position that you hold because of General Shibiri?
No.
All right. What do you mean then?
I mean,
but can you please cut down on the entire promotion process?
Yeah, because I was responding to that because that is what was insinuated, trying to show that he cannot alone promote. And then there were candidate, there were panel members, including people from outside.
So the short answer is there was a thoroughgoing promotion process, and that is what put you where you are.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I said I serve on his behest.
General, you recall I had asked you earlier in your evidence, and just to give context, when you took the acting position of component head, that was General Shibiri's position before he was promoted to DNC, correct?
Yes.
And he and General Sentimule had recommended you for the acting position, correct?
General Sintumule recommended and he approved.
Yes, but in your statement you said the two of them approached you to take over that position because they didn't have someone because he had been promoted, General Shibiri had been promoted to DNC.
Yes.
Okay, so in that context, he's recommended you together with General Sentimule, and it was his former position before he was promoted to DNC, correct?
I said he approved the recommendation by General Sintumule.
Thank you, General.
Yes.
Chair, I see that it's 5 o'clock. We are
How
definitely...
how much longer do you think you'll be? Because
Chair,
yes,
long, I must say. I thought that the call would be quick, but if the General is going to give answer every question like this, we're going to be a while.
may we see counsel outside? Let's adjourn very briefly.